What's up, everyone? I'm about to give you my top stocks going into this trading week. Like always, we will talk price action, technicals, along with fundamentals. This is just my opinion. It isn't financial advice, so please do your own research in D&D. Today, I'll be going over my top stocks for the week, which are DD, Pfizer, Unity, TD, Coinbase, Ethereum, Monocoin, alternate systems, in that order. So if you want to skip around the video to the stocks that you own or interest you, totally feel free to do that. So just before I jump into individual stocks, I want to talk about the general market and that South African variant that really brought some downward price action on Friday's trading session. So this new South African variant is giving the market a reason for concern, but the fact of the matter is we need more data to truly know what this entails for the global economy. With under 100 cases in South Africa and a 25%, lower than a 25% vaccination rate for South Africans, I do believe it's a totally different ball game over there. And really, one thing I've also been reading is that the it's actually less transmissible than a lot of the other variants, but also it is a little more deadly. But so we saw a drop a couple months back when Delta cases were picking up. I think this is a little similar. I still think there is no alternative to stocks with treasuries at negative real rates. That just means the rate of return is less than inflation. Therefore, I'm staying invested and we'll look at today, Friday, as a buying opportunity. I believe the drop in yields are really bullish for tech and will spark a rotation to quality tech names. But that doesn't mean I'm bearish on the entire market. I believe the risk of selling here on Friday and on Monday is actually greater than the risk of holding. Um, just because simply the money supply and inflation are both very high, and there is really no alternative at all. The annual inflation rate in the United States surged to 6.2% in October of 2021. That's the highest inflation print since 1990, and it isn't slowing. Portfolio managers will be forced to stay invested. If not, they risk losing. They risk losing, 5 to 6% to inflation per year. So that's just not really an alternative for money managers. So I'm staying invested. I'm not jumping in and out. And if one thing I've done is I've started to rotate a little bit from the bank stocks, those value stocks that I thought would do well in a rising rates environment. Now with more variants coming out, I think that's really a big excuse for the Fed, and I do believe the Fed will be able to, rationalize, more QE and, pushing back taper deadlines, just because, hey, there could be a new variant any day now, and I believe, that will be the rationalization for keeping QE pretty strong, which will obviously be a bullish thing for stocks. But let's jump into individual names. We talked about the market. Let's jump into individual names. So DD has been a stock that's been under pressure from the Chinese government, whether it's about data or they've asked them to delist from the U.S. market very recently. So given they just asked DD to delist, I'm going to become bearish on DD, and I really am just waiting for a crucial technical breakdown, which would be if DD is able to break this $7 level, let's call it. I think, we really sprint to the downside, and I would be buying puts once I see this $7 breakdown on DD. So pretty bearish DD. There are some Chinese stocks I like, actually, believe it or not, Baidu, Baba, but you really got to take a long-term view on that because as of now, into the next 3-4 years, those tensions between the United States and China are heating up. So that will be a risky place to be. But if you did want to buy some shares in Baidu, I wouldn't call you an idiot. All right. So Pfizer. So Pfizer obviously is going to benefit a lot from, increased COVID concerns. Obviously, their booster, their vaccine are very beneficial. They actually have an antiviral drug. It's supposedly to be the best in the world. So I do think that pill will do pretty well as we go into the winter here and more COVID cases, even in the U.S. Start to heat up. Obviously, not everyone's vaccinated in the United States, and the people who are left are really not going to be swayed. So I do think there will be some hesitancy with that, and federal mandates were just ruled unconstitutional. So you're not going to be seeing everyone jump on the vaccine, but that antiviral pill will be very valuable. So I do think Pfizer does pretty well over the next couple of months fundamentally, and technically, just looking here, we broke out of this double top pattern, you want to call it, at about 51. And ever since we broke this level, we've really been roaring to the upside. This was, this 26th. Yeah, see this, on November 26th, the South African variant wasn't even really known yet, but it was running on technicals anyway. And obviously on Friday, we saw a 6% move because of the variant, which makes sense, obviously. I do think owning some Pfizer here is a really safe call because it provides you a little downside protection in case variants do run amok and they do cause let's say more travel or restrictions and more lockdowns. So I do think that will be pretty beneficial. Yeah, so as long as we hold this $52 level, I do think Pfizer will move pretty quickly to the upside over the next 3 to 4 months. I own some calls about 3 months out, so I do think over that time horizon, Pfizer moves to 60 plus pretty easily. So bullish Pfizer. I think it's a good hedge against this COVID news, and even if not, it's a great technical chart. I love the chart right now. I think it was higher. Okay, Unity Software. So this is by far my favorite chart on the market right now. Not close. An A plus buy. I've shout to the Discord if you got in this week. I sent out a couple buys with an A plus rating, which I never do, and it was really because I really meant it. And this $175 level is a hugely crucial one for Unity, which is the largest metaverse platform. Metaverse engine, I should say. That's what they call them. That's okay. So as you can see, right at this 175 level, we peaked back in December of 2020 at about 173, and then we peaked out at 175. So we saw that double top at that area, and then right here we just broke that level, pushing to new all-time highs. Obviously, once we broke that level, we moved up to about 210, and now we're coming back down to that breakout point. And the beautiful thing about this is that 50-day moving average is right smack on that breakout of 175, which just really makes it even stronger. And I'm really bullish Unity. It's one of my largest option holdings right now. So I do think Unity holds this 175 level, and then we push up to at least 210 over the next 2-3 weeks. So that's a pretty strong move, and it's a pretty ballsy call out. But I really do believe it, and I'm positioned for it. I own some $200 calls for Unity, so very bullish on Unity still. All right, I know I said I was done with bank stocks, but a couple of these charts are too good to miss out on. So for TD, similar chart to Unity, actually, believe it or not, totally different sector. But so we topped out at let's call it 74 back in May for TD. And I'm really just talking technicals here because I'm doing some more short-term option swings on these plays. So I really just want to talk more technicals. Obviously, if you want to look into the fundamentals, I would recommend it. Seeking Alpha is a great source for that. If you want to look into the value of the company, this company has pretty good value. I won't bore you with the numbers, but it is pretty solid. So $74 is we topped out back in May, and just recently, over the past 2 weeks, we broke this $74 level. Broke the $74 level, traded back down to the 50-day. Broke the $74 level again, trading back down to the 50-day, which actually coincides with this breakout level, kind of like Unity. So that's kind of the breakouts I like. If a support breakout, a breakout of resistance coincides with a 50-day moving average or 150-day moving average, I do think that's pretty strong, and that's what we're seeing here with TD. So I do think TD holds this $74 level, and trades up to new all-time highs to maybe 77, $80 over the next month or so, let's call it. Obviously, that'll be pretty hard if rates keep going the way I think they do. But honestly, if I had to put tell you guys my gut feeling on what this variant holds. I think it's really not much. I really don't think it's super significant. I think it makes a good story and will get a lot of clicks. That's why the news outlets are running with it. But I don't think it's a huge deal. You saw Dr. Gottlieb. I don't know, for those that have been following the market during the pandemic. Dr. Gottlieb is really the most respected scientist. He sits on the board of Pfizer, Illumina, a lot of huge medical companies, healthcare companies, healthcare giants. So I do think he's pretty qualified, and he would agree with me that there's not nearly enough data to make any assumption that this would be a variant of concern like the HWO says it is. I mean, it's of concern. It should be on your radar, but it shouldn't be the reason you sell right now, in my humble opinion. All right, Coinbase. So obviously this has been one of the favorites of the channel for a while. I'm pretty bullish Coinbase, but I did sell half my position right once we broke this 50-day moving average. So the reason for that is I'm a pretty strong believer in these moving averages. I think they do, especially when they coincide with the support level. I think they're very, very strong. And here we go again. Right at this we'll call it 286, 285 level for Coinbase. Here comes that 150-day moving average. So let's say we see some more downside for crypto, which I'll get in later in the video. You could see Coinbase come down to 290, 285. If we hit this 285 level, I'm going to be looking for, one or two 4-hour candles, 4-hour bullish candles. So if we can see Coinbase hold this 290 level, 285 level, I will be, adding some calls onto Coinbase, and I'll be establishing a full position again on Coinbase, because as you guys know, I really do love Coinbase. Great value, about 40 times PE, forward-looking PE, and they really profit off crypto volatility. So each time you buy and sell on their app, which is one of the most popular apps on the App Store, it's by far the most popular app for crypto in the United States. It's also the most popular app, or it's the most popular platform for institutional investors. So because it's the most reliable and safe platform that institutional investors can store their crypto, I do believe as institutions put more money into crypto, Coinbase will really benefit. And obviously, like I just said, the volatility of crypto really helps Coinbase, because the more transactions, the more money they make. So let's say Bitcoin comes down to 50 and then jumps back up to 65. Let's say Ethereum does the same, comes down to 3,900, jumps back up to 4,800. What's happened? Well, Coinbase just made a lot of money, a lot of money in that jump, because it just profited off of all those transactions, and the strength of the currency is just where it was. So I do think that situation plays out. I don't think crypto's in a bear cycle like everyone likes to say right now. I mean, to make money on crypto, you got to buy into these quote unquote bear cycles, and it's really just something that talking heads like to use. I don't think we're really in a bear cycle yet, and I'll talk about that a little bit right now. So just talking about Ethereum here. I did have to sell a little Ethereum once we broke this 150-day moving average. That is kind of one of my rules. So I didn't cut much. I think I cut 10% maybe. Not a huge cut, because I'm that bullish on Ethereum, and I don't want to miss out on the 20% candle, because that's really how crypto works. It's slight down days until news pop, or someone big jumps on the crypto wave, pop. That's kind of how that works. But looking at the technicals here, so for Ethereum, that $3,900 level is still holding as support. Let's call it $3,950. I do think this level continues to hold as a support level for Ethereum. Obviously, if we break below this level, even for a little bit, I'm going to be very worried, and I will be probably selling at least half my Ethereum position because I really want to just protect my gains. And back in when we were around 1800 to 2K, that was when I was seriously adding to my Ethereum position. So I really do have a pretty decent gain here. So I want to protect that if we do break this support level at 39.50. Do I think we break it? No. I think we hold and we swing up above this 50-day, 150-day moving average. So if we could see, a $4,500 Ethereum, I'll be back to a full weight, and I'll be adding everything I can to Ethereum. So still bullish Ethereum. Ethereum ETH 2.0 coming out by the end of the year should be a big catalyst for the coin. And that's going to make Ethereum 99% more energy efficient and allow a lot more validators to the system. So very bullish Ethereum still. And Mana. So this is kind of this is a coin that is based on Decentraland, one of the largest metaverses in the world right now. And for those that don't know, on this metaverse, you can buy land, you can buy goods, and it's all traded in Mana. And it's very interesting. You could buy land and then advertise on that land. You could buy land and then put a casino in that land, or you could buy land and then make a game in that land and charge people to play the game. So there's a lot of money making things to do in Decentraland, and the currency they use is Mana. So it has a lot of value in that metaverse, obviously. And just looking at the technicals here, we called out this bull flag, and once we did break, we saw a pretty good run in Mana. And now we're seeing it come back down again, but we're holding that 50-day moving average like we have for really almost a full month. We've held that 50-day. So I'm looking for us to hold that 50-day again on Mana. If we break the 50-day, I'll unfortunately have to sell, at least half my position. And then I'll be looking for this, 388 level as support. And if that's broken, I'll probably sell my full position, honestly. But I don't think that happens. I think there's a lot of, there's a lot of functionality to be had with this coin. So I do think it continues to move higher fundamentally and technically, as long as we hold this 50-day moving average. I'm really not too worried about Mana at all. So still bullish Mana. Could be some rocky roads ahead, but I think it's a good token to own. All right, so let's talk ALYI. So ALYI confirmed, an initial 10 million base revenue target for 2022 and a stretch revenue target of 50 million previously announced this week on Monday. Friday, ALYI, the company, announced they will deliver electric motorcycles for use in an electric motorcycle pilot conducted by Priority Aviation. And Priority Aviation is a OTC stock. It's under the name PJET, PJET. PJET has recently refocused its business on the development and delivery of technologies to enhance student life on college campuses, centered primarily around the shortage of campus housing. So we're going to be looking for more details coming from PJET as the pilot rollout approaches. So over the next couple of weeks, we should hear more about that PJET deal, which sounds pretty good. A U.S. deal is pretty nice. I know AOI is seen as more of a global company. So because they obviously have that first order going over in Kenya, so they're not selling in the United States. But hey, a U.S. order at a college would really strive up some interest for AOI, and maybe could get some long-term customers out of that. So I do think this is a pretty bullish development. Obviously, it was so this whole PJET news came out on Friday, and no one heard that with the variant news coming out. So I do think that was a little overlooked, and I do think it was pretty positive news that should have probably sent the stock higher on a normal day. So fundamentally, still bullish on AOI. The chart looks like absolutely doo-doo. Honestly, it's horrible. It doesn't look great. But if we can hold this one penny seven, so it's like 175 level. If we can trade up to that level and hold it, that would mean we would break a crucial resistance level, and we would also trade above our 150 and 50-day moving average, which would really make me want to add to AOII. So if we were able to trade over 175 and hold it for a day or two, I would be adding pretty significantly to AOI because I still think it's a great company. Obviously, we've been hurt. I've been killed. All right, I know a lot of you guys have been, but when you believe in something, you stay in it. And if the technicals swing our way, I really do think it's smart to add. Personally, I'll be adding a lot if AOI can swing positively here. I really just love the long-term idea. I do think, there are some names in the OTC sector that could really benefit from this, increased EV ecosystem, and I think they're really being overlooked. So I do think that's an opportunity still. I'll end the video there. So I'm still bullish AOI, but I'll end the video there. Thank you for watching all the way through. If you enjoyed the video, I would really appreciate if you left a like and subscribe to the channel to watch my weekly top stocks videos. If you would like to receive my daily alerts on all my portfolio moves, my exits, my entry points, my options, my stock positions, join the Discord, which is linked in the description below. But with that being said, I wish everyone a good luck on the upcoming trading week. Stay informed. Join the Discord if you haven't already, or visit me at valueinvestgroup.com if you haven't already. But good luck on the trading week. Best of luck. Peace.